Hello and welcome to my review for the Indian Grand Prix. Again, Vettel has won. This championship seems to be going his way, and yeah, it's going to be hard for him to lose the championship at this point. I think Alonso's got a weaker car, and obviously he's a very good driver, but I think he's going to struggle to win a championship at this stage. The Vettel and the Red Bull team seem very tight, and they're going to go for the victories, and obviously the World Championship and the Constructors World Championship. And I think it's going to be wrapped up probably in around America or something like that. I just feel like this championship isn't going Alonso's way again, very similar to last year, or 2 years ago, I can't remember now. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely going to be, it wasn't the most interesting race of all time, but it had a few interesting moments. And probably my driver of the day has to be, it's really hard between Alonso and Vettel. I think Alonso, because the car was slightly weaker, and he was performing pretty well, but in those very fast laps, and constantly sort of just pucking away at Webber, and finally being able to overtake him. I think Webber was having KERS issues to get past the Webber and then obviously try and chase down Vettel. I think Vettel had some sort of problems with his wing or the floor, as it was sort of scraping along the floor a bit. Or as Alonso's mechanic said, oh, it's sparkling like hell. So he described it pretty well during the race. And McLaren had very weird pace in this. I don't really understand what was going on. At the start they were like really struggling with their tyres, and then all of a sudden Button pitted fairly early-ish, and then we had Lewis Hamilton stand out to like the 32nd lap, and he just kept doing fastest lap after fastest lap. This track was very odd. We don't normally see the front runners only doing one stop. We normally see the Saubers or something, or someone else taking a risk and doing one stop. But a lot of the front runners, Webber, Alonso, Hamilton, Button, all that lot, all done one stop, and that was very interesting to see. And they kept plugging away at the fastest lap with those tyres, and they just continued to keep going, and the grip didn't seem to go at all, so they just carried on putting down those fastest laps and just constantly it's really weird to watch. I don't really understand what's going on. Lewis Hamilton found some pace towards the first set of tyres and managed to close the gaps a little bit on Alonso and the front runners. One thing I want to talk about is the start. That was quite an interesting start, wasn't it? It was like a three-way battle between Button, Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, which I almost forgot his name for some reason. But yeah, it was like a three-way battle down that straight. Alonso had amazing speed on that straight. I think it was a 7th gear ratio. He had a lot higher than others, and just managed to like speed straight past them. It was like amazing to watch. But it was a very important move for Alonso at the start of the race. So obviously Alonso got a very solid second position. I wasn't even expecting him to get that high, to be honest. I thought Webber would be able to hold him off, and potentially Lewis Hamilton might come into play during that race as well. Alonso managed to get a solid second place, and a very good race by him. Webber had a very up and down race. His pace was very good, but he just obviously had KERS issues and different problems, and he just couldn't seem to hold off the almighty Alonso, which again is going to seem like he's going to not be able to get this championship at the very last point after leading for quite a long time, which is very unfortunate for him. I think he's probably a little bit annoyed at this stage, even though he's being a very good team player. I'm not blaming the team, but the car isn't good enough at this stage, and that's a problem. We'll talk about Button for a little bit. Not much in terms of actually a good racing. He had a good pace. I think he got the fastest lap at the end of the race, or towards the end of the race even. But he just struggled with pace, and he could not keep up with Lewis Hamilton. After Lewis Hamilton overtook him on the second lap, I think maybe he got the position back. He just couldn't seem to keep up with him, and I think he pitted fairly early, which was a bit rare for Jenson Button. Obviously he had problems with his tyres, or just done too much lockups or something, and it just didn't seem to work out for him at all in this race. Hopefully he comes back next year with a stronger car, stronger team, and just goes forward. One pit stop I want to talk about, which is really cool to see, when Lewis Hamilton changed his wheel. Amazing teamwork there. Lewis Hamilton took off his wheel as soon as he sort of stopped, and he done like a quick change in 3.3 seconds, which was obviously the only pit stop of the day for Lewis Hamilton. And that was obviously very important, because I don't lose too much time changing the wheel. Just slowed straight in and it went straight off. That was pretty cool to watch. One driver I want to talk about as well, Bruno Senna, had a very good race. He's a driver that I really want to see in Formula 1 next year, just because I think he'd be a really cool person to have in F1. And I just think he's a good sort of team player. I think he has potential to be a very good driver in the future. And obviously there's some sort of love between that Senna name. I just want to see it in F1. Which I know is a little bit biased, but I don't know, it'd just be cool to see him in F1 still. Massa had a very good race. a little bit up and downish. He had problems with his fuel. I think he sort of had to hold off Raikkonen for most of the race. But he had a reasonably good performance. These last few races, he's sort of got into his stride and got a little bit faster. And obviously he's got his contract for next year, so he's feeling a little bit more confident. But thanks for watching this quick little review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a little comment below about what you thought of the race. Who was your driver of the day? And yeah, leave a little like, favourite and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye bye.